beautiful Sunday afternoon and a great day to be at the ballpark. When's it not? Welcome inside Coors Field. The Rockies concluding this three-game set against the Philadelphia Phillies. They won Friday night, lost last night 8-5. So they'll try to capture the rubber game today under sunny skies. Good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're along as always. Here's George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. We begin today talking about the pitching matchup, and it's a beauty. Two left-handers, Cole Hamels, with now a fairly long and distinguished resume. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. More on that in a little bit. And look at the work of Drew Pomerantz, George, of late.
Well, it's been outstanding of late, and I think just the minor adjustments to his delivery has turned it over for him. Plus, getting to watch some of these other veteran guys pitch, guys like Hamels that can come out and do what he does. Fifth career start versus the Rockies with Cole Hamels. We're going to see fastball, changeup, cutter, and an occasional curveball. But the thing he does well is command, folks. He commands both sides of the plate with his pitches. Yes, he's going to be a free agent. Yes, he's going to demand a lot of money. Yes, he's represented by Scott Boras, and that's the challenge ahead of Ruben Romero. I know there's 5 teams here today that are looking at Cole Hamels' start that are in the hunt in their divisions to add a piece.
Well, Drew Pomerantz on the other side of the coin. He comes back from the minor leagues, George. The velocity's back. The arm slot's up. His last 12 1/3 innings, Frage, 3 hits, and 2 of them didn't leave the infield.
The dominance you thought you were going to see when you made the trade for Ubaldo Jimenez. It all works with the high leg kick and then also the stiff front side. Allows the arm to get up. You see the velocity, you see the movement, you see the confidence. And talking to different people, they say he still doesn't have the knuckle curve where he wants to throw it. When he gets that, you think 3 hits or nothing, you're going to see some no-hit baseball.
I'll tell you what, it's been exciting watching him pitch the last couple of outings. So a terrific matchup, Pomerantz and Hamels. When we come back, we'll talk about the tandem behind the plate for the Rockies. They've been hitting a long ball with great frequency. Welcome back. Rockies at 34-53. The Phils at 38-51. Last night, Willeen Rosario had a double off the top of the wall and then a 3-run home run to get the Rockies within a run late in the ballgame. Unfortunately, the Rockies couldn't get over the top. Willeen is not in the starting lineup today. Ramon Hernandez, who returned on Friday, will get 2 starts in this series. Going forward, how will this work between the two guys?
Well, I think you're going to go ahead like you did at the start of the year. Ramon Hernandez is a guy that can really handle a pitching staff. We'll all admit it. I mean, Willeen with the pass balls errors, he's still learning a lot of that part of it. And I think that's where Hernandez can tutor him. Hernandez is going to swing the bat better than 214. Willeen's still going to hit balls out of the ballpark. But I think he understands. He gets the fact of what I have to do behind the plate, where I need to improve. This morning at 9:30 in the locker room, he's with Jerry Weinstein looking at tape, not of the game yet, watching what he did yesterday as a catcher, not as a hitter last night. And I think that's one of the keys. We all know he's going to do this. He's going to hit the ball out of the park. He's going to drive in some runs. The other part has to improve. Last night was very good at throwing runners out last night. But that's where it's all got to come together on a consistent basis, and I think that's where Hernandez, for me, is a guy that can help tutor him through this. He's been through the wars. He's been Willeen Rosario 15 years ago.
George, it's the toughest position to play, especially for a young kid. You got to handle a whole staff, and then, can you contribute offensively also?
And to add to what you're saying there also, Drew, you've got to know what the opposition hits and what they don't hit and what the situation is. Great hitters will hit differently in situations. You've got to know that also. The load is so heavy on a young rookie catcher coming to the big leagues. It is the hardest position in baseball to learn on the fly at this level.
But a lot of clubs would love to have Willeen Rosario's future. We are set to go. The Rockies and the Phillies come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Always got to get a little tee work in before you get to the cage. Nicely done. And Drew Pomeranz climbing the top step and heading out to the field on a Sunday afternoon. Under cloudless skies right now, Jimmy Rollins will lead things off for Philadelphia. And the two big lefties in their lineup for Charlie Manuel not in there against Drew Pomerantz. Just returning from injury, Chase Utley and Ryan Howard will watch initially. Shane Victorino will bat second. Then Hunter Pence will slide into the 3-hole. Carlos Ruiz having a gorgeous Euro bat cleanup. Ty Wigginton, the former Rocky, he'll bat fifth. Placido Polanco, John Mayberry, Mike Fontenot, and Cole Hamels. Fontenot at second today. Yesterday he got a start at third base. Pomerantz 1-3 overall, but George, since he's come back, as we touched on a few minutes ago, he's been a different pitcher.
Well, what I like to see in this is 6 innings pitched, 80 pitches, 6 1/3, 81 pitches. So it tells you he's pounding the strike zone. Just 8 base runners total in that 12 1/3 innings in those 2 starts.
I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but perhaps there is, because when the Rockies started this experiment of in the neighborhood of 75 pitches, the walks for their starting pitchers have gone way down, and that's why guys have worked 6 innings or so. In the case of Pomerantz, he worked into the 7th inning with a minimal pitch count in one of his last 2 outings.
Well, a nice part of that happened in Washington, so it's right before the break, so you could allow him to go, because he had 4 days coming off before this next start. Actually turned into 6 before this next start.
Here's the 1-1 on Jimmy Rollins outside, and it is 2-1. Game time temperature 90 degrees. Rockies and Phillies will meet 3 more times this year in Philadelphia. Again, a bonus series this year against the Phils. Here's the 2-1. And it's on the ground to third. Chris Nelson gets a clean hop and a good throw over to Michael Kadire, and Rollins is the first out of the ball game. Defensively, the Rockies have Gonzalez, Fowler, and Tyler Colvin in the outfield. Nelson, Josh Rutledge again, game 3 of his big league career. Marco Scutaro, Michael Kadire, Ramon Hernandez doing the catching, as we discussed a moment ago. Shane Victorino takes strike 1. Home plate umpire is Scott Barry. Scott's a native of Michigan. Became a full-time umpire at the big league level a year ago, and sometimes that's misleading. If you follow Major League Baseball, you know, you've heard the name Scott Barry for several years. Guys will be, AAA umpires. They climb the ladder and get a lot of games at the big league level because of vacation time and injury, yet not be a quote-unquote full-time member. Scott Barry joined the got the call up after retirement officially last year.
Well, the vacations, the umpires get 8 weeks now, so there's a lot of room for these guys that are handpicked by Major League Baseball, the Umpire Association, in conjunction with that, to give these guys the opportunity.
It remains a 2-strike count on Victorino. He hit the ball hard last night. And that ball's well hit right center field. Can Dexter get there? He lays out, can't get there. He's going to need help perhaps from Colvin. Victorino can fly. He's going to end up at third. Good effort by Dexter Fowler. 4th triple of the season for the flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino.
One of those free agents at the end of the year. Tough choices for Ruben Amaro to see what he's going to do. Still playing like a 10-year-old kid. Just out of the reach of Dexter in right center field. Made a valiant effort on trying to catch to the baseball, but it just right out of the reach of that glove by about a foot. Victorino was off to the races the minute it left the bat.
So Hunter Pence will step up. Now Hunter Pence is a guy, George, that you like in the middle of the lineup. We talk about his energy. He's got great ability, but he will strike out. And this is a situation where if Pomerantz can keep the ball out of play, it gives him a great chance to get out of this inning unblemished. 1 out and a man at third. Strike 1 on Pence.
Increased velocity, 94 on that fastball. Was working 90-92 in the first couple of hitters of this ball game. Got a little extra when he needed it.
And he beats him at 95 there. That was in an unhittable location also. That's that mid-90s fastball, George, that was absent in his first stint this year.
Well, you saw the run and sink on the ball, too. That's the other part of it. Missed the location of where they wanted to throw the baseball, but because of velocity and location, we got it by pins.
0-2. He wanted the fastball up. Pence has struck out 72 times. That's the most on the Phils. Another 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Right-hander since the recall for Drew Pomeranz. 0.65 average, 3 for 32. He's been able to handle situations like this with runners in scoring position. 0 for 8.
I'll tell you what, George, you mentioned those numbers, which are ridiculously good. Even with the first handful of starts prior to being sent out to clean up the arm slot, the league still hit only .217 against him. Swung on and missed a big strikeout as Pomeranz just pounded fastballs and blew away Hunter Pence. 3 at 95 in that sequence. 2 outs.
But it's all about where the location of the pitch is. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo gives you an illustration. Outer half of the plate and down.
So Carlos Ruiz, who has become the toughest out in this Phillies lineup. He fouls his back. Ruiz in his first at bat this year hitting .462. That's the best average in the big leagues. He's 30 for 65 in his first appearance of the day.
Now you see the Phillies hitters firing first pitch fastball. Pomeranz yet to throw the curveball for a strike. It's been all fastballs with good location.
And true to form, as we were discussing last night, first at bat, 3-run home run against Guthrie for Ruiz. Rockies could never quite recover from that 4-0 deficit after a half inning of play. They got it to 6-5 late. Batting race, and this is on the ground, being short, not through. Ruiz comes through again, and Victorino trots home. 1-0 Philadelphia. He has been unbelievable.
Hitting a pitch where it's thrown. This is that cut fastball, inner half of the plate, maybe a little bit too much out over the plate, but it pulled the baseball. I said earlier in talking with Gary Matthews, one of the gentlemen that worked, former teammate, played the big leagues a long time. It doesn't matter where you throw him, he seems to put solid contact on it. He's really seeing the ball well.
That's the first earned run scored against Pomeranz in his last 2+ starts. Ty Wigginton at the plate. Wiggy getting a start at first base today.
Probably the right thing to do with Howard struggling a little bit into the series, and why not give him a day off, let it sit back, relax, don't push the foot that much more than you have to. Tough left-hander on the mound.
2-0, and exactly. Charlie Manuel reads the stats also. There's the big kid, Ryan Howard. You know what? We're gonna break them in slowly. They're coming off significant injuries. Why subject them to a lefty who throws in the mid-90s? That's 3-0 on Wigginton. Wow, jumping out of the dugout quick is the Rockies' co-pitching coach, Bo McLaughlin.
Well, I think what Bo's going out to talk to him about is a little bit is the head jerk that he had at the end, plus the spin-off. He didn't have the extension of the plate, the smoothness out front that you'd like to see. Now watch, let's slow it down right here as that arm comes through. Watch how this arm's pulling in this direction, but when he lands, watch when he lands what happens. See how he comes all the way around here and steps over. What you're looking for is earlier in the ball game, when earlier in this inning, I should say, he was really burying that outside corner at 95 and staying on line with it. And I like what Bo did there because he saw something he didn't like, versus allowing a young pitcher to fix it. He went out to talk and to try to fix it immediately.
And a 4-pitch walk, so Wigginton pushes Ruiz to second, and that'll bring up Polanco. Josh Rutledge stepped in with Pomerantz. It's interesting because 12 of the first 16 pitches, George, thrown by Pomerantz were in the strike zone.
Missed badly with Wigginton. Made a little upset that that ball got through to the left side. Make the pitches, get on the mound, and go hard right at it. You just don't want to get yourself into one of these positions where you have a big inning like Guthrie did last night.
This should get him out of it. Josh Rutledge throws across in the inning. There was a triple by Victorino, a 2-out knock by Ruiz. 1-0 Philadelphia. We'll try to counter against a tough customer in Cole Hamels. Dexter Fowler, who's had a tremendous first half, 297 average, 11 home runs, will lead off. Southwest batting order for Jim Tracy will feature Marco Scudero, Carlos Gonzalez, Ramon Hernandez will bat cleanup, Kadire will slide to the 5th spot, then Tyler Colvin, Chris Nelson, Josh Rutledge, and Drew Pomerantz.
The left-hander up on the hill. Cole Hamels 10-4 career versus the Rockies, 2-1. He's given up a few runs there, but has allowed 2 or less earned runs in each of his last 3 starts versus Colorado. Near the top in every category in the National League pitching wise. Right now he is, with his 10 wins, trails Gio Gonzalez, who has 12.
That's not right for Ruiz, by the way. You're just getting settled in.
Just got me an RBI. I got you an RBI. What do you want?
Well, you get down to crouch for the first time in the afternoon. You get a shot off the mask on the first pitch.
And right now, you'll see it on this Mike Shaw, Supermo. When he gets hit like this, folks, that's like getting hit with a right cross. You know, that's why concussions are such a big thing now in baseball. That's why the hockey mask has come in a little more efficient at times. He's old style. But they're doing so much work with the metal work and the padding of the helmet for catchers now.
Well, we were just in St. Louis, George, and of course Mike Matheny, who was a terrific catcher, 4-time Gold Glove winner. He had his career cut short because of concussions. And, you know, they believe a lot of them were caused on foul tips, not just collisions at the plate.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's what's happened to him. So you're doing some adjusting to the straps there. I want to pose this question out there. What do you think? In April and May, he's 8-1, 243, talking about Cole Hamels. Now all of a sudden the conversation starts about, you know, trade piece at the trade deadline if they're out of it. A lot of teams I mentioned earlier. There's 5 teams here today that are in pennant races that are here to watch him pitch. if Ruben Amaro decides to make the trade, because since then in June and July, since all the rumors start flying, 2 and 3, 434 earned run average.
Here's the 1-2 on Dexter, 2 and 2. You know, the thing with Hamels, George, and it's a Philadelphia thing. When was the last time they were sellers?
Not very often. That's the hard part about it. Well, you take a look at what he offers to the hitters. Cut fastball, they'll get a swing and miss, change up curveball, but he lives on the location of his fastball more than anything else.
How about Dexter Fowler? 5 of his last 6 ball games have been multi-hit games, and he starts out 1 for 1 today. Saying hello to Ty Wigginton at first base. Here's Philadelphia defensively. They'll have an outfield of John Mayberry, Shane Victorino, and Hunter Pence. In the infield, Polanco, good glove at third. Jimmy Rollins, he's terrific at short. Mike Fontenot at his more natural position. He played third yesterday. Wigginton's at first. Carlos Ruiz behind the dish. So a leadoff knock for Dexter. And that'll bring up Scudero. This is a situation, George, where with a guy like Hamels, you want to build a run. And that's exactly what the Rockies do. They play small ball, back throw by Hamels. Dexter cannot move up as Fontenot is in the right position defensively to get on over there. So the old pitcher issue for so many guys, George, the 30-foot throw, much more difficult than throwing 95 down the middle.
How many times we've seen it? Second error for Cole Hamels on the year, to where he does make this mistake. Bunted the ball out front. Then he just stands upright. No crow hop, no movement of the body. Just stand up to flip it on to first base. And when he did that, he just airmailed it. I mean, that's a push. That's not even a throw.
So it scored a sacrifice for Scudero, and he reaches on the error by Hamels. 2 on, nobody out. Rockies down a run as Cargo steps up.
Cargo's handled Hamels over the course of his career via only just 3 at bats, but 2 hits, an extra base hit, RBIs.
Cargo last night was 1 for 4 in an intentional walk. He had a double off the top of the fence in right center field, and then he hit another rocket to left that Juan Pierre made a very nice catch on. First RBI for Cargo yesterday in 10 ball games. 2-0. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7+ during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies tacos special. That's there, 2-1.
I'm going to correct something here. There was not an error on Cole Hamels because nobody advanced. So it's a sacrifice by Scudero.
No, that's an error. It's got to be an error. Allowing him
not
to
on
reach.
The board in center field.
It's got to be an error. He
That's
should,
what I'm
he
saying
should be
too.
out.
I'm just wondering why. There it popped up finally. They must be listening downstairs. I was looking out at the board saying, how can that not be an error? It's got to be something. Somebody's got to make a call somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah. You have to account for the runner reaching.
So I was like, why hasn't it been posted on the board yet?
It's Sunday morning.
Okay.
2-2 on Carlos Gonzalez. Cole Hamels has a devastating changeup.
What he does, a lot like Jeff Francis, he'll cut it. So he'll get off to the side of that change. When he does, it creates a slider type move on the baseball. So it's going to move this way away. But here it appears they're going to try to crowd him with the fastball. Nope.
Couple right-handed bats on deck in Hernandez and Kadire. You know, Dexter with that base hit is hitting in the neighborhood of 354. It was 351 coming in the leadoff spot. That's the best in baseball. It's 3 points better than Mike Trout. And there's a changeup. That Cargo to chase. He didn't read it out of the hand, and that's the first out of the inning.
And it's a hard changeup at 85. It's not your normal changeup coming out of it, but it's kind of what they call the fosh because of the way the fingers are split here. And what you end up doing is you pinch the index finger down to the thumb, so you create a sink action on the baseball. And it's a great changeup if you can command it in the zone. It started out about belt high and ended up in the third at 85.
So an opportunity for Ramon Hernandez. Fowler a single, Scudero a sac bunt, reached on an error by Hamels. That's inside, ball one. And Ramon was out for such a significant period of time. To review, this is a guy that's always been a plus offensive catcher. He hits the ball over the wall and he hits for decent average. That's a strike, 1-1. Join in on the conversation in the sixth inning with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Questions, insights, and you'll also learn how to win a $500 gas card. One on Ramon. Punched foul.
I like to say this: punch foul with authority, because that ball was down and away from him. He went down and got that ball and tried to shoot it to right field.
Hernandez in his career a .266 hitter, 165 lifetime home runs. He's driven in 739 runs. That is quite a career. He's played in the postseason 6 times. Last time was against these Philadelphia Phillies as a member of the Reds in 2010. Ramon was an all-star back in 2003 when he was playing for the A's. Hit 21 home runs, drove in 78 that year for Oakland. One, two. Tried to cut it in.
Trying to break the bat, get a ball down on the ground. Turn a double play, minimize your pitch count.
Job by Hernandez. Anything you can do at the dish to live to see another pitch less nasty, you hope. You've done well.
You've done very well. You're talking about look at the pattern of pitches he's got to look at. They're all over the place. A little surprised though, by throwing cutters in. Typically a right-handed pull hitter is going to pull the ball on the ground through the hole. Jimmy Rollins is the one holding Dexter Fowler on. So you open up a greater hole to the left side, but yet you're running the ball to the inside part of the plate to a guy that is a pull hitter. It's kind of opposite of what it is.
Well, if nothing else, the Rockies are forcing Hamels to throw a fair number of pitches here in the opening frame. That last pitch was number 20. 1-0 Philadelphia, bottom of inning number 1. 1 out. Dexter's at second base. Marco Scudero at first. And again, it's the changeup. 2 outs. And it'll be left to Michael Kadire. The rotation for the Phillies has struck out more hitters than any rotation in the major leagues. And it's sometimes an overrated statistic, but not when there's traffic. You've got 2 outs in the middle of the order if you're Cole Hamels without the ball being put in play.
The only downside, you got to have horses then, because your pitch count's going to climb when you start striking people out. And they had the horses. You look at what he's accomplished, 07 to 12, 2012. He is the second winningest left-hander at baseball. Sabathia, 104 wins and just 43 losses. Cole Hamels, 75 and 50. John Lester.
On the ground is short, and Rollins will get it across to Wigginton. So the Rockies had 2 on and nobody out, could not capitalize. We'll go to the second, 1-0 Phillies. products. Well, the Drillers played a long one last night in Arkansas against the Travelers, and they won it 17 innings, 7-2. A ball game that lasted just a shade under 6 hours. The Drillers scored 5 at the top of the 17th. Kent Mathis had a home run in the ball game. Joe Gardner, that's some long relief right there.
Gardner moved to the bullpen when Chatwood was sent down there. Chatwood actually started that game, gave up 1 unearned run in 6 innings of work. Joe went 6 and didn't give up any.
Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
You know what, guys? The Rutledge family expected Josh to be there and playing in that game, so they had a whole family gathering scheduled for Little Rock because their family is from Coleman, Alabama, and Tuscaloosa. Well, of course, Josh gets called up to the Rockies, so the parents came up. They left today, but they told me a little holdover story. He had a cousin that was in Shreveport. They were driving back to go to Little Rock, found out that he got called up, so they stopped at a Buffalo Wild Wings on Friday night, had them put the Rockies-Phillies game on at a bar in Louisiana. They start cheering for Josh, and everybody in the bar is thinking, what's going on with this? Why are they cheering for this guy, the Rockies, on a random Friday night? They finally tell the entire bar, oh, that's my cousin. He's making his Major League debut. The entire place starts rooting for the Rockies, and they had it going wild by the end of the night. Kind of a real neat story for Rutledge in his debut.
That's a really cool story.
Yeah. We had fans in Louisiana he didn't know he had, because I guarantee you from Alabama going in to play LSU, they didn't like him. Yeah, Josh is really kind of taking this role like I thought he would watching him in Tulsa. It's a big leaguer. You know, you're watching him on the mound. He's got some talent. He's an athletic kid. Going to have the ups and downs like all young kids do.
The 0-2 to Mayberry is a flare to Scudero, 1 out. Bring up the 8th place hitter, Mike Fontenot. Fontenot 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. It's a guy that, despite his size, has always had a little bit of pop. Ball cut quite a bit. 1 and 2. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. 1 out in the second, 1-0 Philadelphia. The 1-2 high, 2 and 2. It's an SEC battle right now, George. You're talking about Rutledge at Alabama, Fontenot product to LSU.
Well, LSU threw out a lot of Ontario at that same time.
Pomerantz from Ole Miss, and the Rebel wins. 2 outs. Second strikeout of the ball game for Pomerantz. Cole Hamels will make his way to the plate. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. We're thinking shortstops. MVP shortstops. Can you name the 6 shortstops to win a National League Most Valuable Player award? There's some easy ones, and then there's some on this list that are rather difficult. Strike 1 on Cole Hamels. Cole's a good athlete. And part of the evaluation process, when you're looking at a pitcher, mentioning he's going to be a free agent, is, you know, what kind of athlete is he? Because I think management, baseball operations side, they want to see a guy, especially a National League guy, who's going to compete at the plate, but also how he takes care of himself in terms of long-term health.
Well, you got to be able to bunt the baseball, be able to handle your position fielding wise, cover at first base, all those things they watch to see how your movement, is it fluid, is it more of a stiff, rigid type action? I think all those things play in. And you start to evaluate people.
And Another strikeout. Good solid inning. 1, 2, 3 for Drew Pomerantz. Middle of 2, the Phillies with the only run. Colvin will lead it off for the Rockies. Powered by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Step up to the plate, get more miles per gallon with the hottest car line in America, Hyundai. The Pirates, Clint Hurdle's very good team so far in 2012 will be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon. This season, save responsibly when you shop at your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Check it out at coloradohyundai.com. You'll also get a glimpse of one of the great young players in the game. He's been doing it for a few years now, but Andrew McCutchen hit another home run last night, George. He's got 20.
What a player. What a special player.
Yeah, what a talent.
Yeah, when I was home, I was watching a young man, Dallas Keuchel, who works out with us in the wintertime. He was pitching against their ball club, and you just see all the weapons coming to the plate over and over. Now, all of a sudden, you know, A.J. Burnett, everybody's criticizing that trade. They're pretty happy they got a hold of that one.
Tyler Colvin with a 1-1 count at the plate. And evidently, Andrew McCutchen just hit another home run this afternoon.
Stop it.
Number 21.
They're all screaming when he comes to the plate now, MVP. And guess what? He's right in the mix of all of them.
That is a base hit to right for Colvin. Well, second straight inning that the Rockies have gotten a leadoff single. Dexter Fowler had a leadoff base hit in the first inning. Rockies would have 2 on, nobody out. Hamels buckled down, struck out Cargo on a 3-2 pitch, got Ramon Hernandez after a lengthy at bat on a changeup, and then Kadire bounced to short. Chris Nelson has 1 at bat on the homestand so far. It was a walk on Friday night. He's got the highest batting average against lefties on the club. He's hitting .362 against lefties. That was not lost on Jim Tracy. In his career, Nelson's hit .315 against lefties.
That happened quick, and I like what Nelson did there because Cole Hamel had already started his up. When he was walking into the box where he's giving signs, and the next thing you know, Hamels is coming set. Call time. You know, make him throw the ball on your pace, not his.
2-1. Nelson will study third base coach Richie Dower. It's interesting right now, George, just watch defensive alignment. You have the left-hander Hamels, yesterday a right-hander Worley. Shane Victorino playing a deeper center field today than he did really at any time at any place in the order last night.
Well, the thing is, he noticed yesterday travel of the baseball. You know what I'm saying? In other words, he's not getting jumps on certain balls, or the ones he did catch. It was a strain to get to the position to catch it. So, I mean, what Drew's pointing out, he's literally 20 feet deeper. Watching yesterday, I mean, you look up and you go, he's like 30 feet behind short. What's he doing? You know, I need to go make the catch, but I think today he got a little bit deeper. Maybe it's two, being a day game, hotter, ball's going to travel a little bit farther.
It remains 2-2 on Chris Nelson. Well, something's got to give today. The Rockies 3-11 on Sundays, and the Phillies have lost 8 straight on Sunday. Does that sound familiar? This is a pop-up in foul ground. Wigginton is going to get his feet turned around and make the catch. One out. Josh Rutledge will come up. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. George, how'd you do? How many shortstop? One's in the house.
Jimmy Rollins is one of those. I think Ozzie Smith. Didn't Ozzie win it one year?
No.
He did?
No, Ernie Banks won one.
Well, Ernie Banks, yeah, with the Cubs.
Barry Larkin.
Barry Larkin going in the Hall of Fame. Dick Groat.
Maury Wills.
He stole 130 bases that year, right? Or whatever it was.
104, yeah. Marty Marion.
Didn't have that one.
With the Cardinals in 1944. Yeah, that stumped us. It was a dinner conversation yesterday. 0-1 on Josh Rutledge. Hit the ball hard yesterday again. Didn't have anything to show for it. A line out to short, and he smoked one down the third base line, but Polanco was playing no doubles at that time. It was called strike 2 by Jerry Meals at first.
And I really felt like he checked, but again, you got a rookie at the plate. You got a guy with 10 wins in the National League standing on the mound. See, I thought he checked it. Let's look at it one more time.
Yeah, he held up. 0-2.
Like a lot of young guys, they're going to get pounded in. And he's done a nice job of laying off that inside fastball or adjusting by opening the front side. That's a testament to the kid hit 348 a year ago, 305 in Tulsa this year, being able to handle the inside fastball.
Not this time. Cutter in. Strikes out Josh Rutledge. First time in his young career he's gone down swinging. Drew Pomerantz will come up with 2 outs. Third strikeout for Hamels.
118 strikeouts and 118 innings coming into this start, so he has that ability to punch people out.
Two on Pomerantz.
Ask about the Rockies buy one get one free private suite offer. That's right, they're still available for the rest of the season, so pick up the phone now, dial 303 Rockies, and get a space for you and your group to come to the yard in a beautiful way. And that's sitting in one of these gorgeous suites to watch the ball game.
Ball and 2 strikes on Drew Pomeranz, who he has not done this activity a lot since high school. Somewhat competitive at the plate. Never hit at Ole Miss. And Hamels finally gets the punch out. 4 punch outs for Hamels. Tyler Colvin, who had a leadoff single, left at first base. 1-0 as we go to the 3rd, Philadelphia.
Behind left field as we go top 3. Phillies up 1-0 and Jimmy Rollins about to come to the plate. That brings us to our Chevy's Dare to Compare for the day. It's brought to you by the Chevy Equinox. 32 highway miles per gallon, outperforms its competitors. Chevy, made for Colorado. Drew and George just did the trivia question. They talked about MVP shortstops. Barry Larkin goes into the Hall of Fame a week from today. I had a conversation today with Jimmy Rollins about what he thinks about Barry Larkin, because look, they have a lot of similar numbers that you saw there, and a couple others that I like is that Barry Larkin played his entire career in Cincinnati, all 19 years of it, ended at age 40. Rollins has done the same for 13 years with Philadelphia, 2 more years on his contract. He said, look, the plan is to keep playing and to get to Barry Larkin status. And guys, I wouldn't doubt that he could do it. No, by the way, they both wear number 11. Barry Larkin asked Jimmy Rollins if he wore number 11 because of him, and Rollins said, you know what, this was my basketball number, and I just kind of liked it. And I like the way it looks on my uniform because I wore 6 for a year, and everybody said I was squatty. So it's vertical, so that's why he wears 11.
Jimmy's a good guy, and I'll tell you what, he's a heck of a player.
You know what he does, Drew? He gets it. He's a superstar in the game. He has time for the media. He has time for the fans. You know, when I say he gets it, he understands his role in baseball as far as being able to be accessible when needed to be. He expects private time, and everyone should. You see a lot of superstars come up that are not that way.
Now, Philadelphia has always had a good clubhouse. Jimmy Rollins has been one of the clear leaders of that clubhouse during this great run of theirs. This is the first time they've hit a pothole of any kind in a long time.
I can't think back to the last time. I mean, Doug probably look it up and give you the losses, where they are and what happened and went on. But I know back in the 70s and early 80s they were terrific.
They basically put half a Brave streak together in that NL East, right?
Yeah.
On the ground to short. Rutledge has the baseball and he fires it across. 1 out. Drew Pomeranz matched up with Steven Strasburg in his last start in Washington, and Pomeranz got the better of Strasburg. Strasburg has 4 losses this year. The Rockies have handed him 2, and Drew Pomeranz, look at those numbers. And folks, in those 2 ball games, that one in his previous start, he had allowed 3 hits in 12 1/3. 2 were bloopers, and 1 was an infield hit.
Well, it's been total dominance. First start back here. How many bats did he break that one day? 9 in his first start? It was a joke.
George, the base hit that drove in the only run of the ball game by Carlos Ruiz was a broken bat bleeder through the left side. Here's the 1-0, and that's pop foul and out of play.
You ask about the Phillies. The last time they were under 500 at the break was 06, 40 and 47. All right. The last time prior to that, 1997. 24 and 61. That was the worst they've been. I mean, it's pretty amazing how they've kept this franchise doing what it's doing.
Outside 2-1 on Victorino. Fly ball to deep left field. Cargo going back near the wall. He's going to leap and make the catch. He didn't really need to, but he's close to that wall. So it's a long out for Victorino. Time for the Excel Energy high efficiency inning. Second inning for Drew Pomeranz. John Mayberry got fisted, hit a little blooper to second. Then a couple of punch outs. Mike Fontenot and Cole Hamels. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. You talked about the 06 season where they were under 500, George, at the break. They had a very good second half. Ended up finishing 85 and 77. Last year they won 102 games. Hunter Pence swings and misses. It's 1-1. Year before they won 97, 93 and 09, 92 and 08. One and two on Pence.
Everybody wanted to get Charlie Manuel out of there. Can't manage. A hillbilly from West Virginia. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Not a good manager. Couldn't wait to get him. Now all of a sudden you look up at the start of the year, he's got more wins than in the history of the franchise than any other manager, 646.
You know what, that hillbilly, if you talk to people in baseball, not only can he manage, he's one of the better evaluators of talent in the game. He's run a farm system.
One of his star pupils that treats him just like a dad, and that's Jim Thome. He was brought Thome along in the minor league system with the Cleveland Indians.
Phillies world champs in 08. Took Tampa out in 5 games. To second base, Scutaro. Buries his nose on it, throws out Hunter Pence. That is 7 straight retired by Drew Pomeranz. 1-0. Rockies left the top of the order when we return. Stone Energy Cooperative, your local consumer-owned electric cooperative delivering reliable power and energy-saving tools and more. Visit togetherwesave.com. Rafael Betancourt last Sunday getting the save before the break against the Washington Nationals. The Rockies won the season series against the Nationals 4-3, which is impressive considering we know how the Rockies have struggled, and the Nationals have the best record in the National League.
Exactly.
Dexter's 1 for 1. Here's the 1-0. Inside, 2-0 on Dex. Average back at 300. Huey and I were talking about this on the road trip, George. Wasn't it about 6-8 weeks ago people wanted to send Dexter out again?
Every year. Every year. Can't play. Not going to hit. Never going to hit. Can't hit the back foot slider.
3-0. Fowler will take, and it's a called strike. And it caught the very top of the Ford strike zone.
By the way, congratulations to Ben Sheets. I don't know if he got the win in the game, but Atlanta's on top 6-1 right now.
It's been 2
Sheets
years.
pitched very well today. It's in the 8th inning.
The guy who struggled in spring training and the start of the season now has a multiple hit game in 6 of his last 7. And he's 13 for his last 22 at the plate against lefties. Hitting .590 from the right side.
Big numbers, huge numbers, plus the power numbers you throw in, the RBIs that he's throwing out.
Well, now the Rockies have to take advantage, George. That's 3 straight innings. They've had a leadoff single. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Scutaro bunted last time. Wouldn't be surprised to see him do the same thing, but he did not square around. He takes strike 1.
Well, the Rockies leadoff hit in the last inning, not to take anything away from Josh Rutledge, but he's working against a rookie, meaning Cole Hamels had him, then he had a pitcher up to work his way out of the inning. Now you've got the top of it, of your lineup, and work your way into the heart of it. Try to come away with something here. Pomeranz and Hamels, both guys pace of the game. You hear that conversation a lot in the locker room with pitching coaches and managers. Both of these guys are controlling the pace of the game.
Dexter gets picked off. Wigginton's throw is a good one. It goes as a caught stealing 1-3-6.
Second time this year Dexter has been caught. Cole Hamels, pretty good move to first. What he does, see how the head stayed still towards the plate? I mean, that's what sold it to Dexter. He thought he was going to home when the ball came up. And then he says he could see out of the corner of his eye. He made the move on Dexter. Mike Shaw, Super Bowl, going to give it to you there, out by about 6 to 8 inches.
Fontenot throws out Scutaro. And there's 2 outs and nobody on for Carlos Gonzalez, who struck out on a changeup on a 3-2 pitch.
Here's what I want you to see. Watch his head right here, what he does. Continues to look at home plate. So as the leg starts to come up, he'll give a glance. See, as he starts to come to home plate, look where his head's right here. He sees Dexter going, and it's an easy pick. Those are the guys that have the good one. And what he did other than that, he threw the ball with something on it to Wigginton so you could make the exchange to get a fast runner.
Ball 1 on Cargo. Carlos's average at 332. There's 6 guys currently hitting above the 330 mark in the National League. Only 2 last year. That's a strike. Excuse me, only 1 last year. Jose Reyes. Only 2 in 2010. Cargo with a 1-1 pitch, and this is looped to Jimmy Rollins. Cole Hamels ends up working a 1-2-3 third inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. Shane Victorino, and then a 2-out bleeder through the left side of the infield by Carlos Ruiz. After watching the Rockies this afternoon, stick around for Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. We'll catch up with Rockies prospect Nolan Arenado. Played in the Futures game, a second Futures game. We'll take a trip down memory lane with team historian Paul Parker. That's today after the Toyota postgame show.
Yeah, Nolan hit a little bump in the road, average about 264 right now in Tulsa. It's 1 for 3 at the Futures game. Tulsa won the first half. Now you're dealing with a lot of movement there. Will Harris, Cody Woods, 2 guys out of the bullpen, along with Corey Ritter, all moved to AAA. Nick Smith, Cabrera, who pitched yesterday, only went 3 innings and he started for AAA yesterday. They were beaten 13-8, but a lot of movement out of that AA ball club with some of the older guys. See what they can do, move them up, see what they can, see how they perform. I'll tell you who's tearing it up, Andrew Brown. Mercy.
Ever since a slow start, he's been unbelievable. So's this kid, Carlos Ruiz. He'll lead it off against Pomerantz, and breaking pitch misses. Pomerantz has retired 7 in a row. He's had great life on the fastball. Curveball is still struggling to command a little bit. Here's the 1-1. This ball's well hit, and it was misread by Colvin. It's off the wall. He's going to hold him to a single or throw him out, perhaps. Nope. I thought the way he fielded that, he had a chance to hold him to a single. Ruiz kept going. And it's a leadoff double for Carlos Ruiz.
Well, a lot of carry on this baseball. I think Tyler Colvin felt like he was going to get in front of this ball and make a catch on it, but unfortunately it gets out over the head. Hit about halfway up the wall in right center field. This is what I'm talking about with this guy Ruiz. I mean, anywhere you throw the ball, he can do damage with the bat. That ball was up and away from him, hits the double. A more accurate throw, you'd had a shot at him.
Strike 1 on Wigginton. Ruiz last year hit .283 with 6 home runs and 40 RBIs. So how many folks had Carlos Ruiz basically 90 games in? This is game number 90 for Philadelphia, leading the Phillies with a .350+ average, 14 home runs, and 50 RBIs. How many had that? Raise your hand.
Doug, put your hand down.
Really? Native of Panama. See Wigginton trying to go to the right side to move up Ruiz. 2-strike count. And Wigginton gets the job done. That's a good piece of hitting by Ty Wigginton.
Yeah, great inside out swing. Hey, July 17th is Coca-Cola and Ronald McDonald House Charities Day. Patients, families, and volunteers will be acknowledged at the game as part of a special recognition sponsored by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets for Tuesday's ball game when the Pirates will be in town.
It was a tough pitch for a right-handed hitter to deliver to the right side. It was a cutter in on the knuckles. Polanco grounded to short. The Rockies bring their infield about halfway. Rutledge an extra step of depth for range on the pull side.
It allows you to do that because of Ruiz's speed. You can play a little bit deeper because the ball hit hard right at you. You're still going to be able to make the play on him. That's why Chris is behind the third base bag. Rutledge about 10 steps off the grass.
There are a couple of factors, as George is alluding to, in how far you come back. This ball to right. Now Colvin has to move back, and it should be deep enough. Here's a throw to the plate, and a set fly and a second run for Philadelphia. Polanco makes it 2-0 with his 19th RBI.
how about last night's finish in the Dodger ball game? Second and third. Jansen's on the hill. I mean, what do they got to worry about anyway? We're talking about San Diego. And Cabrera's at third base. And I guarantee you Glenn Hoffman walked by and told him, because Hoffman's been a third base coach for Aaron, and said, hey, if he drops his head and starts to walk around, he notices things like that, take off for home plate. Well, sure enough, he does it. Fires it off the screen. What was the greatest part was A.J. Ellis jumped to get the ball. Greg Gibson thought he had it when he applied the tag. He calls him out. Then he realizes the ball's on the back screen, calls him safe, and then the runner comes all the way around.
Will Venable scored from second.
Scores from second,
ball
and
game.
The Padres win.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a walk-off because they had to go get 3 outs. This is hard to Chris Nelson. He's going to throw out John Mayberry. Leadoff double by Ruiz. They manufacture a second run. 2-0 Philadelphia, middle of 4. Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford Focus. It's 40 miles per gallon of pure fun. Start more than a car. Ford Focus, go further. Well, because of technical issues, we're going to give you what is known as the billboards a little bit later on. How about that? Philadelphia leading 2-0. Bottom of the 4th. Ramon Hernandez will lead things off against Cole Hamels. And that's that great changeup. Hernandez, in just a handful of at-bats, pretty good numbers against Hamels. 3 for 7, including a home run. He had a good battle with him in the first inning before striking out. No swing. This is kind of George's advertised. 2 good pitchers. Obviously, Hamels with the more distinguished resume. Pomerantz is just trying to build a resume, but Pomerantz has come into the ball game throwing the ball very well. He hasn't thrown the ball badly. A couple of runs for Philadelphia, and the Rockies have not been able to get a key hit against Hamels. They've had
a lot of ground
singles.
ball outs. A lot of ground ball outs from both sides of these guys. Making pitches, and the only time there's been damage, Victorino triple in right center, then the double by Ruiz, and then everything's been fundamentally scored today, and that's how they got their 2 runs.
Here's the 1-0 on Kadire. It's downstairs, 2-0. Yeah, we're talking about, Georgie, the 2 runs San Diego scored last night. And I'm sure Greg Gibson is going to wear that one for a while.
Oh, they're going to make a little fun of that. How do you punch? They punched him right out. That's a shot to left. Mayberry's going to be able to get it.
Yeah, Mayberry got a good read on it. Sliding catch for the big man in left field. 2 outs.
Once you commit as an outfielder on a ball hit like this is like a humpback liner, man. It's coming hard and with some top spin. You know it's going to sink. You're coming in to get it, but once you committed, you got to keep coming. If you try to put on the brakes and back up, that ball's going to shoot right by you to the wall. Nice catch by the youngster.
Tyler Colvin had a base hit in the second. This is the first inning Hamels has gotten the leadoff man.
Both pitchers just pound the strike zone.
40 of 61 pitches for Hamels in the strike zone. And this is a routine play for Mayberry.
Boy, that was a quick inning for him, too, with 5-6 pitches for Hamels.
He's had a few of those. We'll go to the 5th inning, 2-0, Philadelphia. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Comcast, advertise your business locally on the networks people watch. We can help grow your business. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com for details. And by the new summer barbecue menu at Burger King. Let's have a barbecue today. With George Frazier and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. The Phils have the only 2 runs. Pomerantz has pitched well. Hamels has pitched better. 8-9-1 for Philadelphia. Mike Fontenot, Cole Hamels, Jimmy Rollins. And this bunt attempt popped up. Somebody catch it. And it's just a misfortune for Pomerantz of having the runner cross in front of him at the very instant. Now, Tracy's going to ask for interference, but you're not going to get it here.
He's in the running lane.
And he didn't slow down. I mean,
no. Well, he's right in the running lane. See, look, he's staying right in the 45 angle. He never got out of it. You can see both umpires, home and first, looking to see where he was.
That's just a bad break because, again, if he does not have to move around Fontenot, he's going to catch that baseball. And good for Pomerantz, George, trying to be an athlete. He is an athlete, you know what I mean, going after the baseball. Too often pitchers get to this level, and it's like you have to be a spectator whenever the ball's in play unless it's a bunt back to you.
Well, part of that is where the ball was bunted. You know, this is kind of no man's land for everybody because your first baseman's playing so deep. So you got to be able to go cover that ground. I mean, that's one of the keys.
0-2, strike 3 on the outside corner.
Really didn't matter.
4th punch out for Drew Pomerantz.
Boy, command down in the zone, away from the hitter's power and where they can do anything with it. That is outstanding. I mean, I'm sure Fontenot's saying that ball's off the plate, but you earned that by getting out there to get there.
Hamill struck out his first time. Fontenot will go downstairs. Look at this pitching staff. Would you want Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels as your first three?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You're all right with that?
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good combination of what you want to try to start your team with.
This is
and have Papelbon close things up. I'm sitting watching the dugout right now, and it's a learning process right here. See what we're talking about? You're talking about those three pitchers. Well, this is what Bo McLaughlin's trying to do with Willeen Rosario. Watch sequences, watch where they sit, watch what they throw. You know, it's not, I don't want to say it's easy to go out and catch, but it's a lot easier when you can run Lee, Hamels, and Halladay out on the mound with those three guys to make your top three starters.
Well, it's why the sport's so difficult, because if you lose one or two guys in your rotation, guys you're really counting on, but your frontline guys, it makes it so difficult to compete. And then for Philadelphia, you throw in the significant injuries to Utley and Howard.
Well, they went 70 games a year ago, Doug, and had like 15 complete games. This year they're 15 and 15 and
3 complete or no complete games.
Well, Hamels is 10-4. He's been fine, obviously. Halladay will come back this week. He's 4-5 before the injury. And Cliff Lee, as Hamels is dismissed, Cliff Lee, who's pitched much better than this, but Cliff is 1-6 in 15 starts with a 3.92 ERA.
Well, a year ago, Doug just told me 50 and 23 in their starting rotation. Those three guys, 50 and 23.
I'll give you another example. So Kyle Kendrick, George, gets inserted into the rotation when Halladay goes down. Kendrick's a solid guy. We've seen him for a while. We've seen him pitch well against the Rockies. He's kind of a back of the rotation guy, but a solid guy. I mean, this isn't a guy that belongs in AAA who's trying to get by in the big leagues. Kyle Kendrick starts 10 games in place of Roy Halladay, and the Phillies go 0-10 in those 10 games. Now, it's not to beat up Kyle Kendrick, it's to show you one key guy going down, how much it can upset the apple cart, even for a team as seemingly, at least going into the year, as deep as Philadelphia typically is.
And I want to see now how this handles with Pomeranz. Here's a little bit of what's talking about. Roy Halladay made the start the other day, threw well through a 30-pitch bullpen yesterday. Going to start against the Dodgers, but in Clearwater the other day, 3 innings, 3 hits, a run, it wasn't earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. I want to see, you got a base stealer up at the plate at first base right now. Pomeranz, they have been successful because of the long arm action on the backside. I want to see how Jimmy Rollins and their advanced scout to see if they've set this up the same way, if they take or try to take advantage with 2 outs in the top of the order.
Jimmy's 14 of 18 trying to swipe bases.
The opposition has been successful 7 of 8 times against Pomeranz, and being left-handed, that's very surprising.
Yeah, well, that can't happen.
See, such an abnormal type of move there. If you looked at Pomeranz from the home plate area that Drew and I have this look straight down at the field, when he lifted the leg up, he tilted the back about 6 to 8 inches. Didn't stay in your normal pitching position, then threw to first base. He didn't stay over the back leg. See that time how the back stayed straight? It was in a pitching position. But with 2 outs, don't get carried away with the guy at first. Just make sure you stay where you are.
Yeah, he slide steps here too, George.
Yeah, see, and I'm not a real big slide step guy for left-handers. That's just my own personal opinion. If you've got a good move to first base, you can have the leg kick and get a normal load. A lot of times with a slide step, the arm's late and the ball's up.
And that's exactly what happened there. The ball tailed way out of the strike zone, and that's a terrible throw. He tried to flip it over there. Rollins will stop at second. In what you were trying to avoid Now he's at second base.
What you have is what Drew trying to do, two different type of moves there. One was the traditional pick the leg and step. The next move was going to be, I'm going to step off the back and flip it. See if I can catch him napping. Well, when he flipped it, it just flipped out of the hand and went over to Kadire. Rollins didn't get up very quick, or I think he probably would have been at third base. See, Pomeranz like, oh boy, did I really just do that? Let me get over back up third base real quick.
One and 0 on Victorino, a triple and a deep fly to left, and he takes ball 2. Shane came into the ball game yesterday 2 for 24. But yesterday he had a double in the first and a triple in the 9th inning, and he also lined out twice. 2 for 5 overall, but starting to find the barrel of late. Rollins bouncing way off second base. 3-0. These little things, George, do not go unnoticed in the big leagues. Nothing goes unnoticed in terms of scouting report.
Well, scouting, video, everything else you got now with MLB.tv. You can go on there, you can archive games, you can break them down. A lot of scouts do that.
Pomeranz's inability to hold guys, and now out of the stretch, he walks Victorino.
See, and you say to yourself, all right, he walked the right hand. Well, Victorino got a good swing on a ball in the first inning, hit a triple. Then he hit a deep fly ball to right field. Hunter Pence, on the other hand, has struck out and a weak ground ball to second. So why not pitch to the guy you have a little confidence in a ball game? To me, that's pitching for me. If that's what happens here now, that he just goes right at him and attacks him. That's pitching. You're pitching to what you think you have the advantage over their lineup. He's at 72 pitches now here in the 5th.
Which again, if he gets Pence here, that's right where you want to be. That may be the end of the afternoon for him, but it's still, in terms of pitch count, it's
called pitching your way through their lineup.
It's under the league average. The league average is about 17.1 pitches per inning. So if you're living at 15 per inning, that's good stuff. Absolutely. Yep. He's only allowed 4 hits.
But under what the Rockies are trying to do, obviously it forces the hand of Jim a little bit.
Yes. Pence a strikeout and a weak ground ball to second. On the inside corner. Phillies have had a lot of success in a lot of venues of late, particularly here at Coors Field. They've won 11 of their last 14 at 20th and Blake.
Well, the other thing
Rollins takes off, trail runner goes also, and it's fouled off.
I think the other thing is playing into Jim Tracy's mind right now. He's controlling this ball game very well. But you have an off day Thursday, so his next time to pitch is going to be Friday, and it's a normal 4-day rest. It's not a 3-day rest with a 4-man rotation because you have Thursday off. Let him go a little bit deeper than normal.
Perhaps, but he has really tried to adhere to in the neighborhood of that number.
Looking at the triangle, the count 74, the bullpen, nobody up.
Bounces up there. The other thing that pitching coaches, managers are mindful of, as you all know, George, with young pitchers, and Pomeranz a young pitcher. Number of innings.
Stressful innings.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at. How much stress did they have in their innings of trying to get guys out?
One-two on Pence with 2 outs.
Yeah, now kind of the wheels starting to come off a little bit here, though, because he hadn't missed that much all day. He's been around pounding that strike zone. You're right, 4 hits, 2 of them timely. They've manufactured their runs.
Rollins takes off, Victorino as well, and this is well hit to left field, and it's gone. And now you have a big problem. 3-run home run. Hunter Pence, 5-0 Philadelphia. 17th home run for Pence.
That, folks, is smoke. You got a pitch. I mean, it is a weird sign. It's a weird swing, but when he connects, like Drew said yesterday, that's a pitch out of the strike zone and up.
It's a bad curveball.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, Mike Shaw, Subaru Super Bowl, you're looking at this pitch. It's belt high. It's away from him, but it allowed him to extend his arms and generate the bat speed needed to hit this thing 25 rows up to left field.
Carlos Ruiz, 2 for 2, a single and a double.
All that happening after a strikeout of Fontenot, strikeout of Cole Hamels, single, walk, home run.
And even having said that, he was one pitch from getting out of it.
Exactly.
And it's 2-0, you're in the dugout. But he hung a breaking ball, and Pence makes him pay. And now he's got to regain his focus. Bo McLaughlin's going to try to help him in that endeavor. 5-0 Phillies.
Slow things down a little bit. The Rockies have their bullpen going now. So, I mean, go out and just kind of step the game back a little bit, slow things down, allow Torres some time to get loose in the bullpen.
Pomerantz is due up third next inning. What you want, obviously, is for him to get that third out here. And you don't want to have to go to the bullpen here and then down by 5 runs, pinch hit in the bottom of the 5th inning. He'll get out of it. Ruiz hits a fly ball to Dexter in center field. Damage done. 3-run home run, Hunter Pence. 5-0 Philadelphia, middle of 5.
$5-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Phillies are up. Drew and George were talking about Charlie Manuel and being the winningest manager in Phillies history. He is in his 50th season in baseball. He did play in the big leagues for the Twins and the Dodgers, wasn't a great hitter, also played in Japan. And they mentioned he was a manager in Colorado Springs for the Sky Sox when they were a Cleveland Indians affiliate. The Sky Sox celebrating their 25th year this year. You can get a Charlie Manuel bobblehead in August. You can also still get a Jim Thome and Carlos Gonzalez bobblehead as well in the Springs, guys.
We'll have to inquire about that. Mark, thank you. A base hit for Chris Nelson leading off here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, Charlie, yeah, 904 wins, 729 losses. And again, with this ball club, he has more wins now, 646. Surpassed Gene Mauch.
Second oldest,
pretty good manager.
Yeah, second oldest manager in baseball to Davy Johnson. Charlie's 68, Davy's 69. Eric Young's come out on deck. Josh Rutledge at the plate takes ball 1. Rockies have had the leadoff man on at 4 or 5 innings, but they've been shut out. Cole Hamels has been able to get the big outs. You know, Charlie didn't have a great big league career, but he became a legend in Japan. Just to follow up on Mark's story, he hit a lot of home runs and drove in a lot of runs in Japan.
He loved playing over there. A lot of players go over there and they succeed. They do quite well.
Played 6 seasons over there, clubbed 189 home runs.
Well, who was the guy?
Including 48 in 1 year, which was a record for an American-born player.
Randy Bass, that played here for the Zephyr Bears at the time in the late 70s, went over there and made millions of dollars, won Triple Crowns and all kinds of things, played 10 years in Japan, was never going to get an opportunity with Montreal to Kansas City. So he ended up going to Japan.
Well, that's going to turn into a double play. That ball was smoked. Can't hit it any harder than Josh Rutledge just hit it, but it was right at Placido Polanco. 5-4-3 turn. And let's see how Jim Tracy works this. 2 outs, nobody on, and they'll still have a pinch hitter, but it'll be Johnny Herrera and not Eric Young Jr. Looking to save energy and money? Find out how the little changes add up at TogetherWeSave.com, your local Touchstone Energy cooperative, delivering reliable power, energy saving tools, and more. Hamels has worked a lot of short innings after the first inning. Rockies forced him to throw in the mid-20s in terms of pitch count in the first inning, but since then it's been a low number. That last pitch, number 70. Misses there. Cole had a scoreless inning of relief work in the All-Star game. 3-time All-Star each of the last 2 seasons for Hamels. Here's the 2-2, and Johnny hits it on the ground as second. Fontenot throws him out. Another strong inning for Cole Hamels. We're through 5 at Coors Field, and the Phillies lead it 5-0. Locally on the networks People Watch, go to Comcast Spotlight for details. Spotlight.com. 5-0 Philadelphia. Run in the first, a run in the fourth, 3-run home run Hunter Pence in the fifth inning. Drew Pomerantz is gone, and taking over will be Carlos Torres here at the top of the sixth inning. Pomerantz walked 2, struck out 5, and allowed 5 hits.
Well, Carlos Torres is throwing the ball well, both here and at the AAA level. He'll be asked to eat up some innings. The Rockies trail 5-0. 4 hits by Pomerantz, given up. But there was key hits: the 3-run home run, the triple. They advanced him in on a fly ball. The double, advanced to third on a ground ball. I mean, they played small ball to get up on top, 2-0. Of course, then the one mistake with 2 outs, that they get 3 in a hurry. It makes it look bad, but it wasn't that bad. As they like to say, the line doesn't look particularly pretty, but he didn't pitch the way the line indicates.
Yeah, he didn't pitch as bad as the line would indicate. I would concur with you. But Philadelphia did a good job in those 2 innings, got extra base hits. Wigginton, who's at the plate right now, did a nice job moving the ball to the right side to move up Carlos Ruiz to third. And then, of course, that one mistake. Chance, games swing sometimes on one pitch. We're talking about a 2-0 game. He gets Hunter Pence, who he'd handled the first 2 times, and it's still 2-0. Now with Cole Hamels out there in a 5-run lead, seems like you're on the bottom of a mountain. Wigginton checks his swing, 3-1. Josh Rutledge is 23.
2010 third round draft pick out of Alabama. Right shot right at Nelly. He had climbed very quickly in his first full season, was awarded a spot at high A. It paid off. He hit 348 for the Rockies high Class A affiliate at Modesto, and this year has hit over 300. Nice play by Nelly at third base. All about reaction. One step catch to get the ball off to the side.
Polanco at the plate, ball 1.
Ask for the ball away, you get the ball in. Then you get a head turn and a look.
That's in there, 2-1. That's a fair ball. Long throw, Chris Nelson, and you get to see the arm that at one point in high school threw a 101-mile-an-hour fastball.
What I like to see is the exchange, from the glove to the bare hand, very quick, a lot like a shortstop. But recognizing what position he's playing now, he's able to get up on top and behind the ball and throw the ball all the way through the first baseman. That's what gets you to carry.
Somebody had a question: what is WHIP? Walks and hits per inning pitched. So if the league average has moved down, we're kind of entering the last few years a pitcher dominated era, coming out of the steroid era, the performance enhancing drug era, and WHIP has gone from a league average in the National League the last few years from 1.41 in the neighborhood of 1.31 last time I looked. That means league average is there's 1.3 runners on against a pitcher per inning. Now the great ones like the Roy Halladay's, they're right around 1.
They don't walk people and they don't give up any hits.
Exactly. I mean, look at Cole Hamels today. Perfect example. He's given up a leadoff hit in 4 or 5 innings, but there hasn't been a second hit. There hasn't been a walk. He's given up 4 singles, hasn't walked a guy. So his whip in 5 innings, to that person who texted in the question, is under 1. And guess what? He's throwing a shutout. 1-2 on Mayberry. Very close. Swung on and missed. Torres strikes out Mayberry. Good inning for Carlos Torres. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 5-0 Phillies. Cold hard blast last night. A couple runners on. Molin Rosario at the plate. Boom. Home run number 15 for Rosario. At that point, it made it a 6-5 ball game. Rockies within a run. They would fall 8-5. It's our Coors Light cold hard blast. No blast to talk of in this ball game. Cole Hamels has allowed just 4 singles. And the man who has 2 of them is at the plate right now. Dexter Fowler leading off in the 6th inning for Colorado. And they're going to get him here. Jimmy Rollins working through the baseball throws to Ty Wigginton. A good teaching point. Ground ball. See Rollins keep his feet moving and work right through the baseball, through the ground ball. Ground up. Kept his momentum going toward his target, first base. Marco Scutaro with 1 out. Marco reached on an error in the first. Actually, he got credit for sacrifice. So officially he's 0 for 1. Two and 1. Rockies have had 1 runner to second base. That was Dexter in the first inning. CenturyLink high-speed pitch, fast speed, a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Pomerantz 4 or 5 times today. Threw a pitch at 95. Cole Hamels 93.
Oh, we had a text just a minute ago to tell you the text fastest man in baseball. I'm going to tell you it's Billy Hamilton. got 109 steals right now in the minor leagues.
On the minor leagues.
Yeah, minor leagues. Well,
Well,
you said baseball. Minor leagues are baseball.
I know Billy Hamilton flies. I saw his numbers.
He's been caught 22 times, too. So he's getting on first a lot.
Yeah, I just want to see somebody line up in a 40-yard dash, 60-yard dash, either one, and beat Mike Trout.
Yeah, 109 stolen bases this year in Double-A, 274 and 333 in his minor league career. That's fast. 109 and it's July what, Doug? It's halfway through July? That's a bunch. What's the minor league record, Doug?
Is Vince Coleman in that, Dougie? Vince Coleman stole a ton. He stole a ton of bases in the big leagues, but I think Vince Coleman, George, had some ridiculous number in the minor league. Here's Cargo. Scudero doesn't advance. First walk, by the way, for Cole Hamels. That whip is skyrocketing.
You bragged on him.
Yeah, I know. 2-1 on Carlos. A strikeout and a flare to short. 3 hits on Friday night. Last night, Cargo 1 for 4. And this ball's drilled left center field. And the outfield will play chase here. Around third goes Marco Scudero. He'll score easily. Carlos is hunting the triples. Got to pick it up. Throw is not in time. Run scoring triple Carlos Gonzalez. It's 5-1.
I'm going to tell you that Paul will miss that call because he had a bad positioning there, and I'm happy for the Rockies.
Yeah, it looked like the ball beat the runner. Polanco's chewing on him. Charlie hasn't come out. Cargo now with a 22-game home hitting streak. This ball was scalded.
Yeah, left center field. Glad to see the other RBI come through too. Now 2 in the last 11 ball games. He's going to come through with this one. Ricochets off. The relay's absolutely perfect coming into third base. Polanco, nice pick on the ball. Then the tag. Let's look at it again. I mean, I'll apologize to Emil, but I thought he caught the ball and they got the tag down.
Ooh. You know what? That's a great call. Our apologies to Paul Emil.
Yep,
he was all over it.
Yeah, he was. Now, Polanco, you need to apologize. You've been chewing on him for 5 minutes.
George, go down there and get that whole thing straightened out. That's why Charlie didn't come out.
Let's just get another run here.
And it's huge. You know, we're having fun with this, but that's huge that Cargo got to third there. There's a good time and a bad time.
That was a good time.
You know, you're down, so you don't want to make outs on the base pass. But the fact that he can now score on an assortment or in an assortment of ways is huge. Good job by Ramon staying off that. It's 1-2. RBI number 60, by the way, for Carlos Gonzalez. Most of the strikeouts that Hamels gets, and he gets a strikeout per inning pitch, which is tremendous.
Go back
it's
to
on the changeup.
Back to first and second in the first inning, 2 punch outs in a row. Second inning, he gets 2 strikeouts in a row with man on base. Here you get him to chase that changeup. Fourth and fifth, breezed through some pretty good innings. Now here in the sixth with 1 out and a runner on third and a run in, comes up with a big strikeout.
When he needs it. Kadire at the plate, and Kadire hits a 1-hopper to Fontenot. So the Rockies get a run. Gonzalez left at third. 5-1. We'll move to the 7th inning at Coors Field. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. In the first inning, the Phillies with 2 outs after a triple by Shane Victorino. Carlos Ruiz strikes again. He got the bat broken, but he snuck it through the 5-6 hole. 1-0 Philadelphia. 5th inning, 2-0, and then Hunter Pence on a breaking ball that didn't break. A hanging curveball. He juiced it. A 3-run home run, 5-0 at that point. And then a couple moments ago, Carlos Gonzalez with a triple to deep left center field to drive in Marco Scutaro, who had walked. It's the lone run for the Rockies. It's 5-1. That's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. South Broadway in Littleton. Mike Fontenot at the plate. Second inning of work for Carlos Torres. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. Glad you're with us on Root Sports. The Rockies and the Phillies meeting for the 6th time this year. Phils have won 3 of the first 5. They'll meet 3 more times this year. That series in Philadelphia will be the 7th, 8th, and 9th of September. After the Rockies go to Atlanta for 4 ball games. Hey, Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank member FDIC. Now, a couple of minutes ago, we had a question on our Toyota text line about stolen bases and who's the fastest player. And George mentioned Billy Hamilton. How many bags he got now, George?
109.
109. That's all.
109. He's been caught 22 times though.
Oh, just awful. Ball 4 on Fontenot. So Hamels will be in a sacrifice situation. The minor league record. Vince Coleman stole 145 bases in 1983 in A-ball in Macon, Georgia, in 113 games.
Isn't that something? Unbelievable.
You did not overlap with him in St. Louis?
No. He was playing when I was playing, but he was on the opposition.
Torres thought about it, and he'll go to Scutaro, so Hamels gets a sack down. Let's check in again with Mark Stout. Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys, one last thing about Jimmy Rollins. I had a conversation with him today, and I said, what about your legacy with the Phillies? Because, you know, he passed Mike Schmidt in doubles in the history of the Phillies this weekend, and he's about to pass Larry Bowa for games played at shortstop. And he said, you know what, I think about that a lot. You said it, Drew. He takes it seriously, lives in South Jersey, stays there year-round, and does as much off the field as on the field. And you said it too, George. This guy is a pro's pro.
Yeah, he's a good man, and he's originally from the Oakland area. And Jimmy,
well, why wouldn't you want to live in Jersey then? No, I'm just kidding. I like Oakland. Best sound system in baseball in the 80s.
I don't know about the stadium, but some of this, you know, once you get out,
it's beautiful.
That area,
it's
gorgeous.
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
gorgeous.
I saw it a lot last year driving from Oakland Airport out to Modesto. There's some really beautiful areas out there. Big old rodeo grounds about 5 miles outside of Oakland, by the way.
Is that right?
If you want to go, yeah, just.
Well, Daddy of Ball's coming up.
So I'm going to be there, actually doing a pre and post game show there.
You and the Cowboy, huh? He's been counting the days down.
Yeah, taking the quarterback with us. Going to see how Joel does up with the boots and the horse.
You know what? I think Joel could dress up just fine as a Cowboy.
We're going to see.
1-0 on Rollins, 1 for 3. A sharp single in the 5th inning to left. And Torres misses there with the breaking ball again. It's 2-0. Talking about stolen base, guys that can steal bags. Our very own Jeff Houston stole 56 bags in a minor league season. Double-A ball in '88 with Jacksonville. That's a bunch right there.
Yeah, it is an awful lot.
And ball 4, Jimmy Rollins on 4 pitches walks, and that'll set up a double play. Shane Victorino. Look at the professorial one. He's got the earpiece all ready to go for the.
Well, there's nothing about any of that.
Show.
As we get older, you can't see.
There's gentlemen, he's on.
Yeah.
Oh, he's taking the glasses off. Smile for us, Huey. You're still on.
He can't. There's no volume up there. They can't hear the show.
Yeah, he's getting very self-conscious. What are they saying about me? We're complimenting you. You can still run.
Caught something there that I liked. Hernandez was out on the mound. He's talking a little bit to Torres. He turned and looked. He sees it's Victorino. Will turn around and walk back. Now, whether he's saying to him, be aware of fastball, first pitch in, he's going to be hacking. Let's go change up, break a ball, because there's a pattern with Victorino that you catch on to just sitting in the dugout and watching the game. Nobody's up in the Rockies bullpen. It is a 5-1 ball game. Runners first and second. There's speed on the base path. Phillies 2 for 5 today with runners in scoring position. The Rockies have not accomplished that.
Torres trying to get a ground ball here. The 1-0.
This is what Jim Tracy talks about an awful lot with his piggyback role, is that you've got to be able to come in and maintain the ball game. Your club just put a run on the board in the bottom of the 6th inning. Don't give it back up again. There's one out, first and second, get a ball on the ground.
2-1.
The way you typically do that is work fastballs down in the count. Not missing by a lot. The Ford strike zone says it should be 1-2, not 2-1.
And there's the ground ball. Now can they turn it? Victorino can fly. Safe at first.
He can do that. There's no question about it. Victorino can fly. And I thought Rutledge did a pretty good job because it's a 2-hopper going out to Scudero. There's one, there's two. He gets right to him. Good feed, strong feed. Rutledge quick feed at the back, tried to really get after the throw, but guess what? Victorino from the left side, difficult to turn over.
And that was accurately described. They executed that perfectly, just outran the execution. Pence at the plate with 2 outs. Pence has the big blow, a 3-run home run on a hanging curveball in the 5th inning with 2 outs against Drew Pomeranz. Turned a 2-0 game into a 5-0 game. That's a strike.
And breaking ball up out over the plate. You can see Pomeranz's reaction on the mound. He knew he made the bad pitch and he paid for it.
Line drive to right, Colvin right there. Couple walks, couple men left aboard. 5-1 Philadelphia. Stretch time at Coors Field. Sports is brought to you by Sonic. It's officially summer, so roll up and try the all-new Holy Guacamole Dog and Chili Cheese Fritos Coney. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Nice shot of Red Rocks Amphitheater. Rockies trailing 5-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Time now for the Farmers Insurance Report Card. Runs from the 7th inning on. That's what the Rockies need. They've been good at it. Second in the National League to the Phillies, ironically. They've scored 131. The Rockies have. The Phils 132. The Marlins next. The Rockies down by 4 runs with 9 outs to play with. They'll have Tyler Colvin leading off against the lefty Cole Hamels. Tyler's 1 for 2. Chris Nelson, Josh Rutledge to follow. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. Pretty Sunday afternoon in the great state of Colorado. What a beautiful place to be. Hamels today has allowed the 1 run. That came last inning. A walk to Scutaro with 1 out, and he gave up a Carlos Gonzalez triple. Trying to win for the 11th time this year. Philadelphia in that NL East in the cellar. Hard to believe. They're 14 behind the Nationals. Nationals are 15 games over 500. Began play day 3 up on the Braves, 5.5 up on the Mets, 9 up on the Marlins. Washington beat the Marlins today, by the way, 4-0, so that changes that. Atlanta beat the Mets 6-1.
Mike Ekstrom, the right-hander, warming up. He'll come on for Torres as the Rockies work their way down this lineup. Pitcher due to hit 4th.
Slider for a strike on Colvin. Well, at least it was called a strike. Pirates in tomorrow for a 3-game set. Pitch count at 91.
It'll work about the same what you think it was. Normally works into the 7th inning of a ball game. Hand it over to your bullpen. Their bullpen right now, if you get it to Papelbon, you got a pretty good chance. Scuffle a little bit in those middle innings. He's worked at least 6 innings in most of his starts. 8 a couple of times. 7 the last 4.
Strikeout number 6 for Cole Hamels. Let's check the Coors Light freeze cam. Ty Wigginton at the plate, and they call it the hot corner because the ball arrives quickly. Let's catch Chris Nelson. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Chris is 1 for 2 at the plate, and this is a 2-hopper to Jimmy Rollins. Good pick by Wigginton at first. 2 gone.
He has some innings where he'll throw 15, 20 pitches, and all of a sudden he has innings 4 or 5 pitches. I mean, depending on how aggressive you want to try to be as a ball club.
You made a great point earlier. He'll pitch to contact, but all of a sudden, when there's a chance of damage being done, he hunts the punch out, and he gets himself in a pitcher's count, and here comes that changeup. And he gets a lot of swings and misses on the changeup. There's the thing that George was talking about.
Think about that. 43 pitches in the first 2 and then 51 for the rest of the way. That ain't good.
Josh Rutledge, a strikeout in a 5-4-3 double play. Hit that ball on the butt, but it was right at Polanco. Josh grew up a little more than an hour from Tuscaloosa, where he ended up going to college at Alabama.
A couple of guys on that Double-A team. Kent Mathis, who was the California Player of the Year last year, started struggling, hit another home run last night. That 17-inning ball game. They were teammates there in Alabama. Matter of fact, Mathis finished 2nd in the Golden Spikes Award to Strasburg.
Hamels cruises through the 7th inning. Phillies leading the Rockies 5-1 on a Sunday afternoon. Back right after this. For the Rockies after a couple innings of Carlos Torres, couple scoreless innings from Carlos Torres.
All right, Andrew, pitched pretty well. You see what he's native of Portland, Oregon. He's been in the big leagues with a couple of organizations, San Diego, Tampa. 28 years old, had thrown very well in AAA, so he's kind of the guy that got the opportunity and pitched well in spring training, and why not?
Well, Mike was in the ball game yesterday and a scoreless inning, gave up a hit. Carlos Torres, George, did not give up a hit, walked a couple and struck out one, so he pitched well in his 2 innings of work. Carlos Ruiz, Ty Wigginton, and Placido Polanco. Phillies trying to snap an 8-game losing streak on Sunday. Both the Rockies and Phillies have been awful weekend teams. Rockies 34-53, so they've lost on a lot of days of the week. I understand that, but once again Sundays have been terrible, and Saturdays this year. Rockies, after losing yesterday, 2-13 on Saturday. They're 3-11 on Sunday. Philadelphia has just 7 wins all year between Saturday and Sunday. Carlos Ruiz, single and a double in 3 trips. Drove in his 50th run in the first inning.
The Rockies have scored 7 runs in the last 5 Sundays, including today, according to Dougie.
Steven Strasburg, George, won his 10th ball game today in that victory for Washington. 4-0 over Miami. That's pulled foul. And how about Ben Sheets? He beat Johan Santana today in his return to the big leagues, George. It's been 2 years, right? 6 innings of work, no runs, just 2 hits, walked 1, struck out 5. It proved to be a heck of a pickup for the Atlanta Braves.
Can you believe that? I mean, here's a guy through a couple of side sessions, been working out at a high school. He makes 2 rehab starts and comes up and says, what's the big deal? But again, 5 years ago, this guy's one of the most, 3 years ago, one of the most prized right-handers in baseball, too. That's why Oakland gave him $10 million to try to rehab himself and get in shape.
Ruiz strikes out. Wigginton at the plate against Ekstrom, and the slider's in there for a strike. Sports fans, don't forget the Dan Patrick Show airs weekday mornings at 7. As always, Dan and his Dan X will discuss the latest sports and celebrity stories. Keep updated on all the top news with the Dan Patrick Show weekday mornings at 7 on Root Sports. Infield pop-up. Josh Rutledge will make the catch. Toyota Talk will continue in the post-game show. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comments, questions to 720-720. And as always, you will have an opportunity to learn how to win a $500 gas card. It's like 3 fill-ups now, right?
Well, you drive a big SUV.
Polanco at the plate. Polanco drove in a run with a sac fly to right in the 4th inning. That was the 2nd run of the ball game. Good pitch, jam shot. Good inning for Ekstrom. 1, 2, 3 through the Phillies. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-1 Philadelphia. Nine, 1, and 2 in their lineup at the bottom of the 8th inning. Eric Young Jr. will pinch hit. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies do score 7 in a ball game for the Rockies Taco Special, here's what you do. Text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Cole Hamels' first pitch is a ground ball up the middle and on through. Base hit, Eric Young Jr. That's a good start.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't that 3 for 3 on the right side? The home run the other day, a couple of base hits. Now this base hit up the middle, 3 for 3. And then as a pinch hitter in his last 3 appearances, got a base hit the other night on Friday night.
He did Friday. Last night, a fly ball to center field.
That's right. You're right. Here goes their bullpen starting to get a little bit busy down there.
Yeah, the lefty's Bastardo. Michael Schwimmer is the right-hander. Dexter's 2 for 3. Multi-hit games in 6 of his last 7. Slugfest today in the Bronx. The Angels over the Yankees 10-8. Pujols is 15th. Trumbo is 24th. Misses. A-Rod, Chavez, Teixeira, and Granderson all hit home runs. Granderson's 25th. Boy, for a guy who's not that big, man, he hits a lot of home runs.
Yes, he does. Built for the ballpark.
This ball's well hit. Victorino leaps and makes the catch. And you can tell off the bat that that ball had a chance, at least, to get over the head of the 5'8" Shane Victorino. That ball had a lot of backspin on it.
Yeah, backspin. Either backspin or knuckling, because that ball was jumping around on him. He's playing a little bit deeper than he was last night. And if he's not, he probably didn't catch the baseballs. Mike Shaw Subaru, you're going to get a good shot of this with Dexter squaring this thing up. We're talking about hitting the sweet spot. Coming right off the bat. He crushed it.
He's in a good place offensively. Nothing to show for it with that AB. Marco Scutaro with 1 out and EY at first. Scutaro walked and scored in the 6th inning on the Gonzalez triple. Margo on deck. Jimmy Rollins will get the force out. Pretty good throw at second by Mike Fontenot to make that a pretty close play. At first base, 2 gone. Scutaro ostensibly trades places with Junior, and Cargo will come up.
Yeah, good feed here. A little bit of a hesitation there. Didn't get out of the glove quick enough. That allowed Scutaro to beat it up the line. I was talking about Jimmy Rollins. It was kind of stuck in the glove for that split second. Hadn't bought enough time for Scutaro. $25,685 in the house on a Sunday afternoon.
One 1-0 on Gonzalez.
I want to remind everybody, on July 28th, the Rockies Wives will host their annual charity basket event. The silent auction will take place on the main concourse in center field, where fans can bid on baskets filled with unique Rockies items. This is all kind of a garage sale type theme. All the wives and girlfriends gone in. They've dumped out the husband's closets. Make a play, Drew. No. Is that they've dumped out the closet. They've had their husband sign them. They put them up like last night. Molly Colvin made the comment that she had got Tyler to sign a College World Series hat to put out when he appeared there. So it's kind of a neat event for everybody. Center field on the concourse, July 28th.
And Cargo visibly disappointed in that strike call by Scott Barry. He doesn't show a ton of emotion typically.
Most good hitters won't show emotions because when they do complain at the least bit, they're right most of the time. They know the strike zone.
And he's not happy. Cole Hamels gets the strikeout of Gonzalez. That is number 7 in the ball game for Hamels. 5-1 Philadelphia. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By StubHub, hey fans, want to be here in person the next time your Rockies take the field? Just head to StubHub and choose your seats today. By Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank member FDIC. By Jack in the Box, get the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. And by 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tires fast. Rockies trailing 5-1, ninth inning. Rafael Betancourt will throw it. Joel Klatt will tell you about the postgame show.
That's right, Drew. You've heard the phrase 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, I'm here to tell you, in this case, 2 out of 3 is bad. 4 of the 5 runs for the Philadelphia Phillies this afternoon come with 2 outs. Plus, we'll talk about Armin Hamels. Cole Hamels this year has been fantastic against the Rockies. We'll break that down. Plus, get you down to the clubhouse and hear from Jim Tracy. Let's get back to you guys. Hopefully, the Rockies can get some runs here.
Wait. Who's writing your material now?
Meatloaf.
Well, Allison normally writes it, but Justin is sitting in. See, Justin's going to sit in. Allison's pregnant, about to have her 3rd child. She's doing fantastic, by the way. We're hoping everything goes well this week. But Justin's sitting in, so he gave us some of this stuff. What do you guys think? Grade it.
Well, okay. I'm okay with it.
It's the first time we've had a meatloaf reference in a while.
But I like it's the presentation. See how you present it. You sell it.
You try to, and you try to get it out there in order for you guys to bite on it, But sometimes it doesn't happen, if you know what I mean.
I got you,
Joel. Come on, never. That's never occurred.
Never.
We'll talk to you in a little bit, my friend.
All right.
Joel Klatt and the crew getting ready for the Toyota postgame show. Rafael Betancourt getting a little work here on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and you know what? I think unfair criticism towards the Rockies bullpen as far as blown saves, because whenever I hear a blown save, I think of nothing more than the closer. 15-19 for him, 284 on run average. I think they start counting blown saves in the 7th inning. That should be a blown hold, not a blown save. So, unfortunately, when the Rockies bullpen rated last in that save category, sometimes it's not this guy. This guy's doing a decent job.
I'll clean it up for you, George. It's a stupid stat.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to put it. I just was trying to be nice to everybody that created that stat.
Well, if you can't get a save, how can you get a blown save, right?
Well, I mean, if they pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th, because they have the 3-inning save rule, that's why it's 7, 8, 9. That's why the rule's there. There's just no 3-inning saves anymore unless it's 15-3. And the guy throws the last 3. I think Tyler Chatwood might have got one of those earlier in the year.
1 strike count on John Mayberry. In the air to center field. Dexter started back, and now he's got to come in.
Big swing. That's what causes you to get back on the ball like that.
Yeah, and there's now a pretty significant breeze in the ballpark. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game, particularly the things George says, may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies.
You're not supposed to do that. You know when they say read the card?
Yeah.
There's no George in there.
No, if you look carefully.
No, you're not. You're supposed to read the card. The FCC gets real mad when you don't do that.
No, they wrote me a letter. They said you better include George a particular line designed at Frazier and Frazierisms.
Mike Font, one of those. I learned from the best.
Mike Font
Yogi.
With a base hit, and here comes Ryan Howard to pinch hit for Hamels. You know, you hear a lot of noise in the stadium, a lot of cheers right now, because there's a lot of Philly fans. We talked about it last night. The Phillies are one of those almost national type of teams that have been around for so long. Wherever they go, they get a large contingent of fans. Same with the Cardinals, same with the Cubs, same with the Yankees, as we all know.
Atlanta draws a lot. Seems like it when they come into town.
Yes.
The Dodgers draw quite a few. San Francisco, popularity growing.
Pulled down the line. That's a fair ball. And I don't think Kadire ever touched the bag initially. He didn't. And they end up turning it 3-6-3. Nice play by Michael Kadire, gloving that smash off the bat of Ryan Howard. Good call also by Jerry Meals at first. As we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, Antonio Bastardo will pitch, not Jonathan Papelbon, who got a 5-out save yesterday. Ramon Hernandez, Michael Kadire, and Tyler Colvin scheduled. Bastardo's been solid out of the bullpen. Forget the ERA. 34 ball games.
Tough left-hander. Tell you that, 16 holes right now. He struck out 39. The walks come into play with the ERA, because what happens, you'll walk a couple of guys, base hit, run scored, you're out there for 2/3 of an inning, and some of those earned runs have, in baseball terms, been painted up. Left the ball game, right-hander comes in, face the right-hander, gives up a couple of those runs.
Terrific performance by Cole Hamels. 8 innings, he allowed 1 run, 6 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. He never allowed more than 1 hit in an inning, and he allowed only 1 extra base hit. That was the triple, the run scoring triple by Carlos Gonzalez in the 6th inning. This is on the ground, deep short. Jimmy Rollins will throw out Ramon Hernandez comfortably. 1 gone. Tomorrow, with the Pirates in town, Jeff Francis will take on Jeff Karstens, a right-hander. Karstens 2-2 of the .394. Francis has been very consistent for the Rockies since being re-signed after he opted out of his minor league deal with the Cincinnati Reds on June the 1st. Kadire 0 for 3. This ball pulled foul by about 7-8 feet. Sharply hit. Jimmy Rollins is there. 2 outs. He's one of those guys it's really fun to watch play that shortstop position.
Well, you know, here's the thing about it. He was able to sit back and watch a lot of great ones like Larkin, who he admires. We've heard the story already today. Is he does everything fundamentally sound. There's not a lot of flash. There's no mustard on the hot dog. He just plays the game fundamentally sound.
I like, we all like when Troy Tulowitzki's healthy, but I think when these two teams match up, there's just a little added bounce and step for both those guys because they have great respect for one another and they realize they're 2 of the best in the game.
It's no different than when Jeter and Tulowitzki played, or you know, Jeter and Boston with Nomar when that was going on, and with A-Rod when he was on another ball club. You always want
to play well against the other shortstop, particularly when they're superstars of the game.
1 strike pitch to Colvin, and Tyler pops it up, and this one's going to be out of play.
You know, at 5-1 ball game, see what Ruiz did? That ball's popped up. He knows the third baseman's deep. He's got a left-hander, flips the mask, and a dead sprint to the dugout to make a play on that baseball. See, that's the separator for me. And a player that's doing what he's doing and just saying, you know, I'm going to go make this move as much as I can.
Two outs. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Colvin. Strike 3. Ball game over. Bastardo, a quick and efficient 9th inning, and the Phillies take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. Cole Hamels gets the victory. He was dominant for 8 innings. He improves to 11-4. Drew Pomeranz takes the loss. He's 1-4. And the Rockies are now 3-12 on Sundays. And for Philadelphia, that's their first win on a Sunday in 9 weeks. They'd lost 8 Sundays in a row. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Well, this was Cole Hamels' day. Cole Hamels would allow a leadoff single in 3 of the first 4 innings, but then he would settle in and make sure he got all the big outs, and if he needed a strikeout, he was able to get that. He got Cargo twice in the ball game. He has one of the game's best changeups. He produced 7 strikeouts this afternoon. Again, Cole Hamels gets the victory. He's now 11-4. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. We invite you to stick around. The Toyota postgame show is up next from center field at Coors Field.